of the Senate Intelligence Committee desire prompt compliance with Trump's and Biden's document briefing requests. According to a letter sent to Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines and Attorney General Merrick Garland on Thursday, the bipartisan leaders of the Senate Intelligence Committee demanded immediate compliance with requests for a briefing on the content of classified documents discovered at the homes of former President Donald Trump and President Joe Biden. Additionally, the lawmakers' request was widened to include records discovered in Mike Pence's possession. The letter from Committee Chairman Mark Warner, a Democrat from Virginia, and Vice Chairman Marco Rubio, a Republican from Florida, said that without access to the relevant classified documents we cannot effectively oversee the efforts of the intelligence community to address potential risks to national security arising from the mishandling of this classified information. We urge your rapid compliance with our previous demands, which we now extend to those classified papers later found at President Biden's and former Vice President Pence's homes, the letter reads. The committee stated that these issues were of the utmost importance, and that their oversight and authorization activities would be coordinated properly. The Justice Department acknowledged receiving the letter but chose not to make any further comments. The letter was the most recent shot in an increasingly heated dispute between Congress and the national security organizations tasked with keeping the nation's secrets safe. The Department of Justice was actively working, Assistant Attorney General Carlos Uriarte told the senators on Saturday. Lawmakers said the briefing was already past time. Uriarte's letter was a reaction to earlier inquiries concerning the documents from the top two panelists. Uriarte claimed that the Justice Department was collaborating with the Director of National Intelligence to deliver data that would fulfill the obligations of the Senate Intelligence Committee without jeopardizing the existing special counsel investigations. He disclosed that in September of last year, the Justice Department tried to brief Congress. The letter also noted important developments since then, such as the selection of two special counsels to lead independent investigations into the paperwork uncovered at Mr. Biden's and Donald Trump's Florida and Delaware residences. The Office of Legislative Affairs in the Justice Department is headed by Uriarte. Despite the fact that one of the special counsels was only constituted on January 12, Uriarte noted that the prosecutions in both cases were actively working to facilitate exchanging material with the committee. Why department officials did not brief Congress last autumn is still a mystery. The Gang of Eight, parliamentarians with access to the most highly classified material in the country, were supposed to receive a briefing on the Mar-a-Lago documents, according to sources with knowledge of the situation, but it never happened due to scheduling issues. In November, Special Counsel Jack Smith was appointed by Attorney General Merrick Garland to lead the investigation into how President Trump handled documents with classified markings that were found at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Robert Hur, a second special counsel chosen by Garland earlier this month, will lead the Justice Department's probe into the records discovered at the president's Wilmington, Delaware, residence and in Mr. Biden's former office at a Washington think tank. Hur formally launched his inquiry on February 1. Following the Mar-a-Lago search on August 8, there have been bipartisan inquiries about the possible threats to national security posed by the materials found by federal investigators. Since Trump's administration ended, the government has found more than 300 documents with classification designations. Similar details have been sought by lawmakers in relation to the about 25 to 30 records discovered at Mr. Biden's Wilmington home and old office at the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement. The records range in time from his stint as a senator to his vice presidency. On Wednesday morning, for nearly 3.5 hours, FBI investigators examined Mr. Biden's vacation house in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. No secret materials were discovered there. Additionally, classified materials were discovered at former Vice President Mike Pence's Carmel, Indiana, residence last month. Briefings from international visits were among the confidential documents discovered at Pence's home, sources told CBS News. Authorities received the records from Pence's team after the former vice president disclosed that he had records marked classified in boxes at his home. The Justice Department is in talks with Pence's legal team about a visit to his Indiana home for a follow-up search, according to two people familiar with the discussions, which CBS News has confirmed. According to two sources, Pence's staff has given investigators and federal officials its full cooperation. The Wall Street Journal broke the news first. No special counsel has been chosen by the Department of Justice to look into the Pence case. Warner and Rubio claimed that the Senate Intelligence Committee's meeting with Haynes 2 weeks ago, which took place behind closed doors, left them feeling unsatisfied since they were unable to see the documents discovered in Mr. Biden's and Mr. Trump's houses. "Our task is not to determine if things were handled improperly." Warner said on Face the Nation that it was our responsibility to ensure there was no intelligence breach in a Sunday before last interview. And while the Director of National Intelligence had been willing to brief us previously, the thought that we're going to be left in limbo and we can't perform our job, that just cannot stand. Now that you've got the special counsel. It is an untenable scenario, according to Rubio, for the Senate Intelligence Committee to be refused access to the documents because of the special counsel's investigations, as he said on Face the Nation on Sunday. Additional actions were promised by other senators, including a hold on Mr. Biden's nominees for important positions. GOP Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, a member of the Intelligence Committee, said on Wednesday that no one in Congress has seen these records and that Congress will impose pain on the administration until they give these docs, and that is coming from both parties. The Justice Department's policy, according to Uriarte's letter, safeguards the interests of the American people and the effective administration of justice. Disclosing non-public information about current investigations could violate statutory provisions or court orders, reveal investigation roadmaps, and interfere with the department's ability to gather facts, question witnesses, and seek criminal prosecutions where necessary, he said. That's today's latest news. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so that this channel can continue to exist. Thank you for listening to the end and I hope it's useful.